It's debatable here on MLBbro.com.
Let's talk for a second about fathers and sons in baseball, in particular the two blue blood families that stick out in the MLBbro family. That would be Team Griffey and Team Bonds. So if you put the historic exploits of both those generational families on the game, who would be your number one seed?
Oh, me, I'm always going to go with Griffey. Griffey's my favorite baseball player of all time. I'm going to go with the Griffeys, man. That family touched me in a way that maybe the Bonds didn't. Now, with all due respect to the Bonds family, they're great. Bobby Bonds is one of the most underrated players in Major League history. And then obviously we all know the exploits of his son, Barry. But, to me, I'm a Ken Griffey's guy. I'm always going to go with Griffey. And his dad wasn't too bad of a player either. It's interesting, right? You could say that Bobby was the better player than Ken Sr. You could argue at their peaks, at their primes, Ken was probably a better player than Barry, or Barry was a better player than Barry. It's debatable. We'll see. That's why we're on here, debatables. But I'm going to go with Griffey. That's just me. I'm a Griffey guy.
I'm going to say Team Bonds for the very point that you mentioned. And that's the fact that when you look at Barry and Bobby, I mean, just the fact that in like 1968, 69, before analytics and statistics became something more than just things that were pertinent in Stratomatic. If you never heard of Stratomatic, legitimately, boys and girls, look it up. It's the precursor to fantasy sports. But you look at it, Bobby Bonds was a guy that was one stolen base away from a 40-40 season. It's crazy what he was doing in bigger ballparks with a much more radically different game. I mean, and you just look at what he was doing. Pitching was better than higher mounds. But you do make a valuable point. Griffey Sr. was part of two championships, and that can't be underscored. Teams win championships, individuals don't, the whole bit. That was a great team. Bobby Bonds was doing it for a pretty good San Francisco team. But when you think about them, who did you think about? Willie Mays, right? And Willie McCovey. So it's amazing, but ever so slightly, and Barry did get to a couple of World Series, where Ken Sr. got to a couple of World Series and won it slightly. It's an interesting debate. It's an interesting debate.
It really is. Listen, all due respect to the Bonds family, they are tremendous. They're great, but my biases here lie with the Griffeys, man. What can I say?
And I'm gonna give Ken his props because he's spearheading the effort for the HBCU Swingman game in Seattle coming up on July 7th, and we'll have more of that for you on MLBbro.com. Make sure you enjoy your Father's Day. I'm certainly going to try to enjoy mine.
Yep. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Again, happy Father's Day to the mothers that are playing fathers, to the fathers playing all of that. Happy Father's Day to all of y'all. Enjoy y'all Sunday, man.
And I'm going to bite once again from those PSA ads, #dedication. Remember, it ain't about the money. It's time well spent.
For more, right now, go to MLBbro.com.